Right, Wendy, so 4-0 start to the year. Clarence really did bring everything to you today, but you must be pleased to get a win.
Yeah, always pleased to get a win. So that's what we come here for, and to get another win on the board and have a good start of the season was really important for us. So I thought Clarence were really good today. They moved the ball really well, and they certainly stuck to their structures really well. We probably found it a little bit tough to shut them down at times and let them move the ball too easily.
A lot of young players in this Clarence side, but they really did bring the physicality, particularly early. Was that something that, I'm sure the guys were prepared for it, but did it take you off guard a little bit, just how physical they were prepared to be?
No, look, I think the big thing about that physical part of the game is that that was meant to be gone. So hitting there and bashing into blokes and that sort of stuff is meant to be a free kick. So at some stage that got changed and we don't know about it, or like a lot of other things we probably don't know, because I'm a little bit confused with what's going on with the game at the moment. So so anyway, we dealt with it and got on with it. So we don't mind it, and it's fine. But we actually got told at the start of the season it was going to be a free kick.
Particularly early, there was a bit of that, a bit of physicality. The game was quite contested, probably struggled to hit the scoreboard yourselves. What do you think was the catalyst in the second term for, I guess, a couple of goals early to get you guys back into the game, back on top?
Young Burge went into the middle and got some good centre clearances, and I think we had the better of them in the centre breaks, but around the ground they had the better of us in stoppages. So I think we got some really clean ball out of the middle, which certainly got some couple of goals from those, and we just started settling down a little bit and probably played a little bit more our style of footy, where we controlled the game a bit more and were able to get a bit more pressure on them, which we weren't able to do in the first quarter. So we slowly got that back on board. It was good to see that we were able to come back from a slow start and get the boys back into gear.
I thought Bryce Walsh was again really instrumental for you today. He just really seems to be clicking into gear after a few consistent weeks with his body as well. Yeah,
Bryce has been really good for the first part of the year, and as we know, he's a competitor and finished off with a couple of goals as well as high possessions as well. So he was really strong all day. So he went forward at different stages and through the middle. And I thought our midfield were probably a fair way behind this week, so it was good to have Bryce in there leading from the front.
Mentioned a couple of goals there for Bryce, really even spread of contributors, quite a few guys kicking multiple goals. That must really please you that you're not relying just on a Jacob Gilby, who was a late withdrawal today.
Yeah, look, it's good that we've got some strong bodies up there, and we know that they're going to chime in with different amounts of goals in different weeks. We had to have someone step up with Gilby out, and then Hayden Smith was out as well, Raglione. So we had some core senior players out. So it was good to see Bryce step up at different stages, and I thought Trupp went forward and played quite well. Matty Elliott, who was limping around with a rolled ankle, took a few telling marks at different stages in the game, which held us in good stead. So a lot of guys are chiming in. We certainly don't want to have one focal point up forward, which has been good.
With Gilby's injury, was it something before the game or a bit of a niggle that he's had during the week?
No, he rolled his ankle on a scaffolding thing at work, so we're going to play him, but he wasn't right on Thursday night, and because it was only done on Tuesday, we decided not to play him to just ensure it wasn't ongoing for a number of weeks. So he should be right this week.
Probably didn't make the most of all of his opportunities, but Ed Trupp seemed quite lively inside 50. Is that something that he showed quite a bit in defence to start the year, but is that something you can see him doing more moving forward?
Yeah, because he's got good turn of speed and he's a competitor, so we'll certainly look to play him in different roles, a little bit like we did with the Wiggins last year and Ben McGuinness. So we'll have different roles for him to play. He played a little bit in the ruck as well, so he hits the ground and the ball really hard, so he will. We'll probably see a bit more of him up forward.
Quite a few young guys in the team: Will Gurgel, Alex Brewster, Nicholas Snyder in the team today. How did you see their games early on in their careers?
Look, they were solid, and we certainly don't expect a lot from first gamers and new players into the team. We just want them to go out there and, to be honest, have a bit of fun and back themselves in and get a little bit of the footy. And I think they all did that and contributed quite well for the day. So we're quite happy with the way they went. Sometimes kids will freeze a little bit and when they come into senior footy, but I thought they handled themselves pretty well.
Saw Thor in a spray jacket at three-quarter time, and Mitch Anderton heavily iced up at the end. Are there some injury concerns out of today?
Yeah, I think Thor might have got tunnelled again. Seems to be the new thing in our competition, that you can just take blokes' legs out and So he got that. So I think he's just gone off to get some scans now. So we're not sure how bad that is, but I think everybody else is pretty all right. Robbie might have busted a blood vessel in his hand, and I think Mitchie Anderton might have got rolled ankle late in the game. So I think they'll be pretty all right.
Really big clash against North Launceston next week at home. Must be a really good test to see where you guys are at after a 4-0 start to the year.
Yeah, it is. This will be our biggest test for the year. So we'll look forward to that, and that was certainly playing the best team in the competition will give us a good indication where we're at. We should get a couple of players back next week, and we'll certainly like to have a bit of a crack at them.
Right, Jez, not the result you're after, but a pretty brave performance from a young side today. What were your messages to the boys after the game?
Yeah, look, pretty positive in the end. Probably the second quarter cost us a little bit. We couldn't quite kill the momentum that they had, and some of our compliance around how we wanted to play and some structure stuff just fell away a little bit. Now, that's going to happen with a young group. Now, for us to move forward as a playing group, we need obviously them to play more games and become more experienced, but it's about understanding how to kill momentum. I thought we started to rectify that again through the third, and even the last quarter was a bit topsy-turvy with our compliance around some of those things, but they did fight it out to the end. So all in all, it's been a pretty good day.
Start of the game particularly was really impressive. Tyler Penright kicking a couple of goals, momentum with the boys. You must have been really pleased with that start.
Yeah, fantastic. Like, I put it on our leaders today, and I thought Clint Riley and Brady Jones and those guys really led from the front, and then when they lead from the front, we see what Tyler and Adrian Butterworth and those players can do. So yeah, look, it was really exciting first quarter. We got on top around the stoppage, which we haven't been able to do thus far this year, and we had a really good first quarter, probably a little bit stiff with them guys kicking a goal right on the siren. We probably could have just killed the game in that last 5 minutes of that quarter, but all in all, really good first quarter.
Particularly around the stoppages against a good stoppage team in Lauderdale, that must have been something that you were really pleased with?
Yeah, look, I was. We'd been soundly beaten around the ball in the first two games, but as good players do, and Clinton, Brady, and our midfield group, they're good players. They bounced back today and had a really good game. A couple of times, probably not so much inside the stoppage, but the compliance around the outside of the stoppage was a little bit poor, which led to a few stoppage goals from them. But I think we kicked out of the first 8 goals, 6 came from stoppage, so that's a pretty good result.
Yourself and Karen, how laid outs today? Just for yourself, firstly, what was the issue that?
I had a little bit of a spasm in my right hamstring on a Tuesday night. It was that close. It was probably like 90% today. Long season, so I pulled the pin on that, and it's another opportunity to play a first gamer in Harry Burgess. So we're pretty excited to give him a go. He dominated development last week, and Kieran had a bit of a back spasm last night actually at work. So he pulled out really late this afternoon, and Tyler Penright came in and played a fantastic game. So hopefully we get Kieran and myself back next week, and it's going to add to our list as well.
Fair bit of experience running around the development league today as well. There is a bit of depth there to pick from over the coming weeks.
Yeah, there is. Look, Tim Castle went back there today and had an outstanding game. Jordan Roberts played his first game of footy in about 8 or 9 months. Got through the game really well and looked quite good early on. He's going to need a couple of weeks down there to get some match fitness and stuff. We get Mac Ling back next week, which is good. Neil will be touch and go. Wade Wogg's back. So we get a few guys back next week. We go from there.
Game against Launceston next week at Blunston, another good opportunity to test where the boys are at.
Yeah, it is, and Launceston are probably in a position a bit like us. They've got some really top end players, and then they've got a lot of young kids in there. So that's going to be a ripping game. It's going to be pretty exciting and high scoring, I'd imagine. So if we can bring what we brought today, we're going to be in a good position to potentially win. So it's about just us repeating that effort and making sure that we learn from our mistakes that we made today.
Just touch then on the scoring. I think there were 3 or 4 players to kick multiple goals today. You do have quite a few avenues up there, which must be pleasant.
Yeah, we do, and they're young. Like young Ollie Preshaw and Tyler Penright, Coxie's up there, Jason Bailey, Ryan. So we do roll a fair few guys through the front half. It is young and emerging, so sometimes their compliance with structure and thing goes out the window, and you need to let them play with a little bit of flair. So today we saw in glimpses what they can actually do, and they're quite dangerous. Get 30, 40, 50 games behind those guys, they're going to be pretty hard to stop.